Hey everybody, this is Joel. I'm down here at Boom Comics in Topeka. I understand that this is now one of 3 Boom Comic stores. There's already a store open in Manhattan, Kansas, and there's a Lawrence store opening soon. So Matt and the gang are really tearing it up. Way to go, Boom Comics. And we've got some exciting business going on in the Dryden universe today as well. One of the questions that we face that's kind of a challenge is how to identify things that are Dryden experiment materials. We have at least 2 different publishers who are not me, who are publishing material that is Dryden material, Owlman Comics, and whoever it is that Dan Hunt is working with. And we anticipate working with a lot more publishers as we go forward. And we need some way to sort of flag for folks, this is Dryden. This is a part of the Dryden universe. And as is usually the case, it's Gavin Revitt who has come to the rescue with an awesome set of logos that we have available to use for us now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk a little bit about the difference between a logo and a trademark and what it is that we actually have available. Then I'm going to talk a little bit about what Gavin's already made available and how you can make your own. And I'll put the link to the logos down below the video here. The JPG versions of the videos will also be available, or I'm sorry, of the logos will also be available on the Dryden Author and Artist site on Facebook. So the first thing that we need to understand is the sort of the difference between a logo and a trademark. A trademark says, this is mine, I own it, I put my stamp on it, you can't mess with it, you don't have rights to this material. And that's pretty much the opposite of what Dryden does, right? We put our material under the Creative Commons license so that the next person who comes along is free to build. So we can't really trademark what we do exactly. That's not really right. But we need something that is an identifier, and so what Gavin has given us is a very nice identifier that anyone who is working in the Dryden universe and is honoring the Creative Commons license is free to put on the work that you are creating, whether it's an album cover or a CD cover or a book or whatever, that will allow other people to come along and identify it. For example, you could put a sort of a watermark on the cover of your book that was the logo image, or you could put it next to your own trademark as a logo mark on the back of a book, or really any way that you wanted to incorporate it. Now, what Gavin has given us is a really nice, lovely, stylized letter D. It's a very dynamic, active shape. When you click on the link, you'll see it. It's obvious and obviously a very nice shape. It looks really good. And then on top of that, he's given us a set of images that are a Dryden experiment generic that anybody should feel free to use, and then ones from each of the four eras in our universe. And those are all available to use under the Creative Commons. I really want to encourage people, if you can, on your title page to go ahead and acknowledge that Gavin wrote that or designed that logo for us, just as a nod to him. You know, we survive by supporting each other, and this is something that's going to be very ubiquitous, and I'd like to see Gavin get credit for the work that he's done. But you are not limited to those designs. You're sort of self-limited, because if you wanted to be recognized as Dryden, you should use that swooshy D shape that we know and love. But I want to suggest that if you are going to do a series of books, for example, Dan writes a lot about the Geist Marines, and if he wanted to do a series of books about the Geist Marines, he could adopt that D into something else, onto some sort of metallic logo that said Geist or Marines or whatever he wanted to do like that. I also want to encourage people to contact Gavin if you'd like to have his help with that, because he really enjoys that work, and I think would love to help you with the particular design. I think probably if you want to get a hold of Gavin, the best way would just be go ahead and drop an email into the Dryden Experiment email. That's Dryden Experiment, DrydenExperi ment@yahoo.com, and we'll get the two of you hooked up. All right, so what we have today, we've got an exciting set of logos linked below that are not a trademark, but they are a way for you to identify whatever it is that you're building as a part of the Dryden experiment. You might also drop us a line anytime you use that logo just to let us know where it is. It's a good way for us to be able to get out there and get some promotion and support behind you. All right, I'm Joel. This is Boom. Thanks for stopping by.